Hello everyone, it's NoodleHouse here and I've returned back to Arcade Spirits. Now whenever we see any form of spelling error or grammatical error, I'm going to be taking notes of it because I'm going to raise it up directly with the developers. As you can imagine with games like this, there's a lot of variations to what can be said, etc. So I imagine that they do slip through the cracks, especially if they aren't actual spelling errors as such, like misspelled words, because if you're going through word checking you can miss them. But yes, we shall continue to do that. Anyway, we've already read this one in the last episode, so I'm headed back to my desk, ready to take care of what needs to be taken care of, when I'm intercepted en route. Flumple, Ashley, you're both back. Good. I was hoping to catch you before we left. Oh, what's up? Hams is up.
Okay.
He is? Huh? Okay. Ashley, I'll bring the van around shortly. Flumple, you'll be flying solo today. Hang on, what's happening exactly? Who's Hamza? Hamza's a game finder and auctioneer. It gives next to no notice of when new block of games will be going under the gavel, so we need to move. Ashley, Naomi, Francine, and I will be going to his auction for the rest of the afternoon while you run the funplex. My first instinct is to nod and go along with it. Gavin's the law around these parts. But Ashley's words are still dangling away in my mind. Doing what needs to be done is great and all, but maybe I need to step up a bit more. Plus the idea of being trapped in here during the heaviest hours with no support was hardly appealing. Me? Seriously? Did we learn nothing from the Great Kitchen Fire incident of 20XX, the Flumple excuse, and aura of perpetual bad luck? That cruddy old microwave exploded had nothing to do with your pizza rolls. Pizza bagels. Didn't you say that? Whatever. Hey, hang on. I get to say this too, right? As a fellow floor attendant? I feel like such a third wheel at those auctions anyway. Let Flumple be the third wheel, let me handle the floor. I'll be the finest third wheel we've ever met, trust me. I just want to do more than I've been doing. Different things, new things. Show some initiative, like. I suppose it wouldn't change much to bring Flumple instead, but no costume time today, Ashley. I need non-plush fingers on duty in case of ticket jams. Pinky can stay in storage for the afternoon. I'm just happy to be helping folks out one way or another. I need to go get the van. Wait out front, please. We'll probably be closed by the time you get back, so I'll see you in the morning. Floor Attendant Ashley, away! Leaving me waiting outside with two travelling companions. Oh my god, I can't even read today. Not much time to chat, however, as Gavin pulls his van and a rental trailer around. Oh my, how exciting. I rarely go on adventures these days. It's just a quick trip, ma'am. Any trip is an adventure if you make it one, shall we? Pengy Barbershop. I just like, some of these are pretty cool. Boring coastal, delightfully dull. And it's a nice beige colour. The four of us piled in. Piling even. And it's off to the highway. Words are hard. I can't even read today. I don't know why. Gavin, consulting a driving map on his phone, leads us out of the city via a series of weird turns and back roads. Trust me, this will save time in the long run. Where's Hammer's set up this time? On site at some abandoned estate just outside town. It's going to be torn down, but they found a trove of arcade games in the basement.
Woohoo!
So exciting, I love arcade raids. Arcade auctions. Raids. Auctions. You guys got an arcade to English dictionary I could borrow? Francine, without looking up from her knitting, answers. A raid is when a bunch of collectors get together and rescue games before they can be junked by their original owner. An auction is when someone sells off their arcade games one at a time to a crowd of active bidders. So, which is true? Which is this, a raid or an auction? It's both, dearie. Hamza, that sweet boy, buys up private collections before they can get thrown away. He rescues them from that terrible fate, and then auctions off his finds, sort of. Okay, now I'm fuzzy on the sort of part. I'm the newbie here, remember? Well, okay, but Hamza obviously auctioned off games for cash money, but he's a very whimsical kind of guy. Once I saw him trade off a vintage Burger Time, trademark, in exchange for someone's super secret chili recipe, passed down through the generations of family. In other words, he's just on the edge of being a loon. This would be a lot simpler if it was just a raid. We pay up front, we declare what games we want, and card them away. Instead he ambushes us with these impromptu auctions and makes us come down here to entertain his whims.
Wonderful.
I think it's sweet. Can't even remember what voice again. I think it's sweet. He wants to make... she's almost Monokuma now, according to me. Fucking hell. He wants to make sure games go to good homes. To people who really want them, even if they can't pay. And really, we should be honoured to get we got an invitation. He's trying to cut off the big franchise arcades like Deco's Palace and help the little guys like us. It's inefficient and relies entirely on keeping on Ham's good side. Huh. I'm guessing Hans is still a person who wouldn't let a kid, or who let a kid have the game of his streams for free. He doesn't care about money, he cares about people, am I right? Correctamundo. Hams is a great guy. Is he hard to predict? Sure. But he's got a big heart, and that means something in this business. Not enough big hearts left some days. Yes, because that's how you pay the bills and keep doors open, by having a big heart. I won't deny that we can sometimes squeak out a trade that's practically a steal, thanks to his personal modus operandi. But let's not push too far here. I'm just gonna keep this here so I can actually get a picture of that, because that's gonna be a screenshot. We need to temper our expectations a little, I suspect.
I think not.
We don't have room to add more games, especially relics like Hamza usually deals with. What about the offsite storage unit? We can just rotate games in and out more often. Nearly full to bursting, and not cheap for us to rent on a monthly basis. I'm not saying we have to go home empty-handed, certainly a few holes in our roster we can fill, should we feel it an excellent deal, and beat the other bidders. But consider this, above everything else, a way to maintain relationships with relations with Hamza, even if we don't end up bidding.
Aww.
Now, Naomi. Gavin knows the numbers. I'm in favor of making our little funplex more and more fun. But floor space is finite. And Gavin, remember, if we find some darling little game Naomi would lavish adoration upon, we can always retire an older game. Life, my young friends, is a series of trade-offs.
Well, isn't it better to, you know, not just sell and compromise all the time?
Well, now, there are trade-offs, and there are trade-offs. It's silly to say that you should never compromise, as silly as it is to say you should always compromise. It's what you compromise that defines who you are.
Okay, but can I just say I've only just realised that her earrings are Pac-Man and cherries.
You're all so
I've
young yet.
just noticed that.
You've time to make mistakes in learning what trade you need to make.
Unless you don't make rent on your apartment or your stomach's growling, Iris and Juniper have pushed me so far to stop settling for less out of life and to stand up for myself and my happiness. And I've done just that without regret, so everything should be fine now, right? Right? New default topic diversion. The weather! Well, at least it's a nice day for an outing, right? Oh, come on! Wonderful. Glad I packed plastic bags to wrap cabinets in just in case. That's all, Gavin. Always thinking ahead. Trying to protect your investments, huh? From Ham's invitation, it seems this arcade was largely abandoned and left to rot. I'd rather not add water damage to the ailments the games are already suffering. It's so sad when you come across a wonderful game that's just ruined beyond repair. Most collectors show their collections a lot of love, but others just don't care. You find old games in barns exposed to the elements falling apart. I suppose this is one thing we can easily agree on. It's important to take care of your games. For the real sale value, you mean? A broken game's no fun to play with, and it's a shame to see the classics in a terrible condition. Consider pinball. Pinball games are very prone to breakdowns, and particularly older ones. And to experience them in their glory, you need to show them care. Even beyond a busted game earning no quarters, it feels like a waste to allow an enjoyable game like fallow. A waste of true potential. Huh, good point. Glad to see these two getting along better, even if Naomi kept preemptively attacking him along the way here. With the rain pounding down on the van roof, conversations get a little difficult. Gradually, everyone resumes fiddling about with their phones, knitting or driving. Leaving me to wonder, exactly where is this auction and or raid happening anyway? We've been driving for some time, leaving the city far behind. What would a massive trove of arcade games be doing far out in the sticks? Maybe it's some closed down roller rink or a bowling alley, or maybe it's a creepy old house that's likely haunted by exactly 87,194 ghosts. Ah, the classic Grundle like him. I'm so glad I gave him that name. Ah, the classic Grundle like in play, so majestically awful. Fucking Grundle. Gavin pulls up alongside any number of other vans and trucks. We're here a little late, it seems. Good grief, is this really a new auction site? Creepy, definitely creepy. At least an 8 on the creepometer. An old home is character, I feel. Let's not judge it by the exterior, shall we? With all speed, the group hurries inside to get away from the weather. A large group is already gathered in... Oh, fuck me. For some reason, my brain registered that as being wrong, and I don't know why. It's like, has? That's not a word! A large group is already gathered in the foyer over the crumbling estate, but one rushes forward to greet us in a blur. Fuck me. Words. As the others pay little mind.
Greetings, friends. Hamza welcomes our friends from the Funplex. Welcome, welcome. Gavin,
Hamza.
stalwart as ever. Naomi, love what you've done with your hair. Miss Francine, a beauty surpassed only by your wisdom.
Oh, fresh.
And a new player, it seems. Who might you be?
Hit him with the name. Flumple Grundle.
Greetings to you and your...
Oh.
I am known as Hamza, seeker of antiquity, finder of things lost, player of games.
And lover of Grundles.
Welcome to, well, not my home, but a place where Hamza shall provide hospitality regardless.
I was unaware of Reagan... Oh my god, words are hard. Reagan-era amusement machines. Why can't I ever read Reagan correctly? Like, whenever I've seen the word Ronald Reagan, I can never read Reagan correctly. I always go Regan. I'm like, wait, no. It's not Reagan. Amusement machines are antiques on par with the Turin Shroud. Oh god, you are fire indeed. But rest assured, many a holy grail may lurk in the arcade below. You may even find your own relic of a holy nature by Eve's end. God, he talks so over the top. Alas, I have not a moment to enjoy your fine company, Flumple Grundle. Perhaps later, but for now, it is time. Clapping twice for attention, Hammer rallies a small crowd in the room to begin the proceedings. Friends, companions, long-time allies of the noble art of the arcade, welcome to Donnerwood. She would do it. Its story begins nearly 30 years ago, when legendary pop musician Donna Michaels, singers such as Thrilling and Mama Don't... Fuck me, it's fucking Michael Jackson joke. Did a stately pleasure dome decree. What? Did a stately pleasure dome decree. Okay, sure, I think that's just his talking and it's just weird. Here the reclusive idol crafted a private amusement park, a petting zoo, and an arcade, along with probably touching kids, if this is the right Michael Jackson reference that I'm thinking of. Alas, she could only enjoy this paradise for a short 10 years before her tragic death. Needless to say, the estate had fallen on hard times ever since. In this year it shall be torn down, to make way for condominiums. But not before we have our say.
Friends, those games that Donna Michaels cherished still lurk one floor below, ready to be rescued from such a terrible fate. It is our moral imperative to do so. I have paid the estate owners a princely sum for the entire lot. Now, Hamza parcels them out to you. By all means, browse the collection. See which pieces sing out to you. On the far table, you shall find refreshments, grapes, sparkling wine, and delicacies from my travels. Mingle, cavort, and we shall begin the auction in 1 hour's time.
Indeed, a lavishly arranged table that probably costs more than any single arcade game to put together is descended upon by the invitees soon after. I feel like I'm attending some ancient Roman celebration of debauchery and gluttony, not an arcade raid, or an arcade auction, or whatever. Donna Michaels, I knew it. I should have recognised Donna Wood when we pulled in, but it was raining too hard. Who? You never heard of Donna Michaels? She was the hottest musical act of 1980, mate. Naomi, I was born in 1990, mate. I'm totally plugging my phone into the van stereo so we can blast Girls Just Want to Play Games all the way. It's a mix between... Oh, fuck. Donna. Who could Donna be? I'm trying to think what musician Donna would be from that age. I can't think. I know Michaels is obviously Michael Jackson. That's obvious. Who would Donna be? I nearly said Maradona, but that's a footballer. But first, I'm going to check the cabinets in their arcade. I'm not really into mingling later. She dashes off with all speed, heading for the stairs below. Suppose she should go network a bit. Hamster's events always draw an interesting crowd of rival arcade owners. Heading for the foodstuffs, Gavin arranges himself a plate, so he has an excuse to hang around and eavesdrop on the other collectors, leaving me to do stuff. Now I see why Ashley was bored of these events. Gavin schmoozes, Naomi analyses finds, and Francine's already napping in a chair. I've got nothing to do. Well, when in doubt, find someone who knows what they're doing and stick to them like glue. Ooh, I do like Gavin, but Naomi... Gavin or Naomi? Who should we go with? I'm thinking Gavin, but then again, Naomi's more fun. Because there is one thing I have noticed so far in this game, is that the female characters, except from... No, I think all the female characters are quite fun. And then you've got Percy, who's like... I didn't really like Percy, but that's just me. Gavin, who's a little bit more by the books and a bit stuck up. But he's got, like, reasons to like him. And you got Teo. Teo's probably the most fun one. But Naomi or Gavin, though? Let's go with Gavin. I already get my fill of arcade games on a daily basis. No need to go staring wonders at dusty boxes. I'm curious about what's cooking up here with these other arcade owners, so I seek out Gavin to watch and learn from the master. Gavin, armed with a small play of delicacies, is hanging back for now and sizing up the competition. A perfect moment for me to slide on up and have a chat with him. So, any friends in attendance tonight?
I'd hardly call anyone in this room a friend. Not even Hamza.
Alright, Gavin, fucking
You'd
hell.
be better off not seeing them that way either. These are our colleagues. Somewhere between an ally and an enemy. A rival, perhaps.
That's a bit of a cold way of looking at it.
Practical. I can't afford to invest any real emotional currency in any of these people. Not when I have to look out after my own.
No, he would argue he has a hard time investing any real emotional currency in his own people, but he's too focused on the crowd to get into that right now.
While I'm friendly with plenty of folks, I do hesitate to declare pure friendship. It wouldn't be fair to the other person.
How do you figure?
Consider a true unfettered friendship. The kind with no conflicts of interest, no strings attached. It's difficult when you're in the same business together. If I'm friends with another arcade owner, I'm liable to make bad business decisions that help out my friend, and vice versa. I wouldn't want to burden them with that. Either I hurt my business and my fellow employees, which would be disastrous, or they hurt theirs to better support me and mine. It's messy. Better to be friendly than friends, for all involved.
Okay. What about workplace romances within a work unit or with a rival? It had to be asked eventually, didn't it? Well, that's a little different. Within a group, we're trying to strengthen each other and the group as a whole, so there's less of a conflict of interest. We all pull in the same direction. It can still be messy, however, and important to avoid conflicts of interest. Reasonable adults with strong awareness can sort through that mess, I would hope. Right, okay, good to know for reasons. Now let's size up our rivals to the auction ahead. I do recognize a few. There was owner of the Pixel Palooza on the other side of town. He's amiable and willing to make trades, but will happily take advantage of someone who doesn't know the true value of the game they're trading. She's a private collector with a basement full of retro cabinets. She's perfectly willing to overpay to get the game she seeks, meaning she'll probably snap up a few of the best deals from Hamza, should Hamza allow it. She's... Can't say I've ever seen her at one of these events before. Might be worth figuring out who she represents. Often arcades or collectors will send a proxy in their stead. As for him, he looks familiar, but I can't quite place the face. That's two people wearing sunglasses at night. The epitome of cool.
Doubtful.
Yes, well, the sport coat over the t-shirt looks somewhat negates that. I could swear I've seen him before, though. Gavin slightly snaps a picture of the man in the jacket before loading up. Wait a second. Facial recognition module. Current camera roll. Latest picture. As you like, Mr. Cooper. He catches me staring in confusion. You have an Iris as well, yes? She's become a common assistant app, like the free version with less features than my premium edition, but... Yeah, I guess I'm used to Iris being my digital BFF, not someone else's. Don't forget, Flumple. Juniper's my friend, too. I have a lot of friends. Friends are great. Friends are fun. Your Iris calls you Flumple, not Mr. Grundle. Fucking Mr. Grundle. Yeah? Is that bad? I suppose it's just iffy on a piece of software acting too familiar. Anyway, judging from who's present and accounted for, I have a sincere doubt we'll be able to win over any new games. Two of them with deep pockets, the other two are unknowns. Naomi will be disappointed, undoubtedly. But that's probably for the best. That girl's tendency to let fights a fancy over all common sense. Which reminds me of the earlier thought about the disagreements those two had and continue to have. I know we've got rivals to deal with, but maybe it's a high time to ask about it. Then to go again and again gets old, you know? That one's probably the best one to say. Gavin, if Miss Francine was awake, I'm pretty sure she would like to hear you, she wouldn't like to hear you talking that way. I know it's difficult to balance the dreams of everyone at the arcade with the needs to keep the arcade open, but Naomi's got every right to her dream. Have you two always been at odds like this? That's so sad to think about. Can't you two find common ground? Gavin's expression softened somewhat. We have common ground, the arcade itself. I am aware that I can be cold or distant, that my desire to protect Naomi's dreams sometimes lead me to think I need to protect that dream from itself. Believe me, if we had the resources, I'd be happy to buy Naomi all the aging CRT tubes and joysticks she desires.
Rather disappointing.
I don't enjoy trying to bring her down to the hard reality we live in. I don't enjoy the hard reality we live in, for that matter. But the Funplex is very low tier as arcades go. Even some of the private collectors here have larger, more impressive arcades than we do. So until the day our fortunes turn skyward, I'm afraid I'll need to play the villain for Naomi's sake. I care too much for her to do otherwise.
Apologies.
Better she hates me for what must be done than hate me for letting it all fall apart. I can't say I want to be hated, but needs be when the devil drives. Until I can have a full a filet. Oh God! For some reason I couldn't read that as a word. Until I have a filet mignon for lunch every day instead of pizza rolls. Until my spiritually satisfying job becomes a fiscally satisfying one. No. There's no point in harping on about that, or on Juniper locking me out of a better job. This is the better job. It's up to me to make the most of it. Beep beep, Mr. Cooper. Facial recognition, facial analysis complete. Profile number 10855 identified. Mr. Franco Sterling, buyer for Nostalgia Commodities Incorporated.
I think not.
No, that's not right. I remember that face, and he didn't work for a trading company. Think, Gavin, think. Where did I see him before? Iris, did Mr. Sterling work for Putter's Green Mini Golf and Games before joining Nostalgia Commodities? Correct, sir. And who currently owns Nostalgia Commodities? Checking, please wait. So, do we just stand here, or...? Scan complete. Nostalgia Commodities is owned by Deco's Palace, LLC. Wait, what? I thought that... Before I can even finish the sentence, Franco Sterling split away from his little mingling circle to come mingle with us. Gavin Cooper, long time no see. How's the strip mall? Still stripping?
Indeed.
Indeed, very much so. When we first met, you were a fresh-faced recruit there. Not that there's much fresh face about the Funplex there. Come on, let me pour you a drink. We can talk old times. A drink would be ideal, thank you. So how's the wife? He rapidly taps out a short message before tucking the tablet under one arm and departing with Mr. Sterling in tow. Flumple, you got mail. Quickly I unlocked my phone and load up the Funplex's new group messenger app. That one was my idea. Tell Hamza we have a spy. I'll distract Franco. A secret mission. I mean, not that this would end in a tense white-knuckled shootout, but I still have to take the need to subtlety seriously. These are our rivals and colleagues. Raising a stink wouldn't do, right? I approach a small group chatting away with Hamza the auctioneer. Not ideal, but it'll have to do. Okay, so I'm actually going to end the episode here. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like in the section below. If you want to see more of this, and do subscribe to the channel as I upload every day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.